Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Triangle Strategy Walkthrough. Last video there we took down Booker in the Battle of Booker's Brigade. And I'm actually ready to just move on with the story now, so let's get this thing loaded up. And we will do that.
House Wolford, eager to report House N's illicit dealings to Hyzant, rebuffs an attack from Booker, Sorslay's loyal assistant, and gains entry to the city. Alas, Kamsel, one of the Saintly Seven, informs them that charges cannot be brought without hard evidence of Sorslay's misdeeds.
I see the salt matter is being addressed.
Exactly as you predicted, no less. I never expected House Wolford to so much as entertain the idea.
The Wolforts are formidable, always striving to do the right thing. Which is also what makes them so easy to manage.
What are you scheming now?
Scheming? You make it sound so scandalous. All I do for our beloved Hyzant.
Do not play the fool. I know Minister Edor has taken notice of you. You would do well not to let it go to your head. I certainly cannot bring myself to admire the man.
Oh, why ever not?
'Tis not worth going into detail. Suffice to say, I would not mourn him should some grave impropriety come to light.
Then, for now, let us gleefully await the Wolfort's next move.
I'm actually a little bit confused as to who Kamsel was referring to there. I'm assuming he's saying that basically he's got no love for Serenoa. But the confusion that I kind of have is if he was actually referring to Edor, which I doubt. I doubt that that's the case, because then the follow-up from Exham is in regards to, you know, Serenoa and the Wolforts. So, yeah, that's my assumption actually, is that he is referring to Serenoa and not Edor. But all right. Anyways, next side story here is at the Citadel of the Sands, and it says within the Citadel of the Sands, Tenebris finds Sorsley in high spirits.
Well, if it isn't Tenebris. Gloomy as ever, I see.
Minister Sorsley, I see you are in high spirits.
And why shouldn't I be? House Wolford is ferrying my salt as we speak. An illustrious house from the Salt Iron War trying to win my favor. It's laughable.
But can they succeed, being as ignorant to the circumstances as they are?
If they fail, I simply lay the blame upon them and see their house duly punished. I shall gain merit in place of money.
I did not take you for an optimist. Or have you forgotten of Exham and Kamsel's suspicions?
You speak as if it were my problem alone, my dear Tenebris.
Do not misunderstand. It is because we are tarred with the same brush that I have come to warn you. Your dealings of late have grown, perhaps overly so. You would make an enemy of the other saints, should they notice.
And would you too turn against me, Tenebris?
Most certainly not. Our fates are tied.
Good. Now leave me.
Pray, be careful, Minister.
What need have I for caution? I have never failed, nor will I ever.
Alright, next up here we've got our exploration phase. It says Serenoa searches for evidence to indict Sorcelet, but will he find it in time?
Sorcelet may well come to end us once he hears of our allegations. There is no turning back now. We must move swiftly.
So how shall we proceed?
We must provide hard evidence, as Minister Kamsel requested.
And I wish to be named Archduke of Esfrost. Does he understand what he asks of us? We have no leads.
Have you managed to reach Minister Exham?
Regrettably, I have not.
I would prefer to have him in our corner, but we haven't the time. We shall collect the evidence and testimony ourselves. Salt is a well-regulated commodity, and numbers do not lie. If this illicit trade exists, someone will have altered the ledgers.
Of course. We'll gather what information we can on Sorcelet until the evidence we seek reveals itself. Let us canvass the town and see what we find.
Agreed. We should split up and search for clues.
Okay, let's see here. So it says the time to gather some testimony, as to Sorcelet's crimes. Now I've actually already done all of this, but I actually do want to just review, and maybe actually I should just do this really quickly here. The way to kind of obtain all of the correct information for the next choice. The first time that I did this, I think I collected all of the information, but I intentionally chose the wrong, I guess, choices so that I would do, you know, a certain battle. And this time I'll do it, you know, kind of correctly. But let's see here. So it says the Saintly Seven have been recognized by the goddess of Salt herself and are tasked with leading the faithful of Hyzant. Atop this order sits the Holy One, who enjoys the privilege of hearing the goddess speak in her own words. The Holy One then disseminates her words to the Saintly Seven, who hand them down to the people, thus granting the Holy State her blessings. I, of course, take pride in the uniquely superior construction of our society, but how do you, as an outsider, find it? It has advantages and disadvantages like any other. I hesitate to call it superior, but not so unusual. The Holy One is your sovereign, and the Saintly Seven their loyal ministers. And then systems of rule are not so easily compared. They are the result of choices made by people over the arc of their shared history. Man, that's a solid answer. Wow. Yes, a sincere and logical argument on the surface, yet we need but scratch at it to reveal the rot within. Yeah. So their nations you speak of, they are meaningless pits of suffering in which the people and their sordid histories are trapped. Oh, ironic. The only ones who can truly lead the people to prosperity and happiness are those who have been chosen by the goddess herself and the Holy One and the Saintly Seven. Yeah, okay, buddy. Yes, so your dogma tells us, though I think you'll find this does not account for human nature, which is not so easily controlled. Yeah, maybe if that guy knew of Sorcelet's dealings, he'd have maybe some cracks in his faith there. But, alright, next person here. As Frost boasts of their freedom from the mountaintops, yet it is only ever the rich and powerful who rise to the top of the wretched duchy. While here in Hyzant, all are equal under the goddess's watchful eye, and all may live in peace. That's not true. I scarcely need ask, but which nation in your estimation has the right of it, yet neither? So the top option is freedom is necessary for all. Stand with Esfrost on this matter, or it is the work of a nation's leaders to ensure peace and equity. You have much to learn from Hyzan's rule. Yeah, there's also some things to avoid. Neither the kingdom of Glenbrook, which I serve, bests you both. That's right. Oh, don't make me laugh. The very notion of a nation conquered by Esfrost being in the right is pure folly. It was turning away the goddess's teachings that brought this fate upon them, of course. They would have driven Esfrost from their shores had they but embraced her. So this is how the faithful of Hyzan think. Yeah, it's just like absolute devotion, and you know, that's the way to success. All right, so in order to find all the information here, we need to go to like these and speak with these guys. It's this guy. Can't let you pass without proper proof. No, must not be that guy. Care not who you are, what nation you hail, none may enter the source. If you're not here to enter the source, then I shall hear you out. What is it you wish to know? Let's see here. Yeah, it's this this center option. Not that I wish to hide, no, I abhor keeping secrets, and in all honesty, I can look the other way no longer. Swear to me you'll not enter the source, and I shall talk. I've seen a dealer, different from the one we see during the day, carry salt off at night under cover of darkness. I confess I received payment in exchange for my silence, but I know not from whom. Not as though it matters, my conscience withers and rots just the same. Another vendor in the middle of the night, highly suspicious. Shall make note of that. I'd wager this person is involved in Sorslay's illegal enterprise. Alright, so that's one of the pieces of information. Let's go talk to Claris. Illegal where is all this talk coming from? I will not stand for these absurd accusations. What proof have you? I'm gonna go with I hear rumors of irregular salt shipments. So an unsavory character is making off with salt, you say. Convinced that not even I had noticed if what you say is true. We simply cannot piece it together in my mind. How would they get the smuggled salt to Esfrost in the first place? They used the cargo ship that vanished. Ah, yes, the disappeared vessel would figure nicely into this plot. It is fortuitous that you contacted me, and I thank you. I tell you this in the strictest confidence. Tuchthouse End's crimes has reached the consortium. There, Minister Sorsley is known to be a meticulous man, exceedingly concerned with the accuracy of his own ledger. If he is engaged in illegal enterprises, as you suggest, I doubt his conscience would allow his books to go unbalanced. He'll have kept a second ledger. A secret account, of course. With that in hand, we'll have all the proof we need. The trouble, though, will be finding it. Alright, there's the information on the secret ledger. I think we need to speak with this guy. Looking for a rebel who was last seen in the area. Have you any memory of such a person? No, I'm afraid not. Okay, let's go talk to... I think... Is this the rebel guy? Yeah. Not now. I have more pressing concerns at present. That damned officer hunting me like a dog. If you would but leave this place, I can return to my home. And then we just go back, talk to him again. Might he be the man who just wants to get home? Perhaps this rebel will provide me with some information if I can convince this guard to move. I did see someone rather suspicious leaving the city. You what? Thank you, good sir. You've done a good deed this day. Pray be calm, for he is gone. Or has he? At last, I can enter my own home. You have my everlasting gratitude. Is there naught I can do for you, good sir? You can provide me with information. Do you know anything of House End's illicit salt dealings? Illicit salt dealings? No, I'm afraid not. Then even a source will do. How might one go about prying into the affairs of House End? As you seem quite determined, you may as well search their encampment itself. Mm-hmm. It is located beside this entrance to the source. If Sorsley has anything to hide, he will most certainly have hid it there. The End encampment. If we cannot find the proof we seek there, then it genuinely does not exist. Yet it is also the most brazen and dangerous course of action. We'll have to wait for the cover of darkness. Alright, so that's the next one. Vanishing vessel. Let's see here. Let's talk to these guys. Mr. Exam is occupied for the moment. If you have business with him, I bid you write him a letter. Oh, that's right. A letter that presumes I have something to write with. Alright, so at that point, now we can go talk to the merchant here. I'm afraid I'm closed for the day. No need to balance the ledger, you see. Terribly sorry to intrude, but might we borrow the pen and paper just there? I have a very important letter to write. If such paper will suffice, then you certainly may make use of the inkwell too. Now to write that letter to Exam. This is an important proposal for Minister Exam. I bid you deliver it to him at once. Very good. I shall see that it reaches Minister Exam myself. The letter should secure Minister Exam's cooperation in exposing Sorcelai's crimes. I pray it reaches him soon. Right, so there's the message to Exam. We cannot be too prepared considering we're up against one of the Saintly Seven. This guy says only those with special permission may enter the palace. Take your leave. Yeah, okay, that doesn't do us any good. Lila here says, I've learned that my secretary was investigating Minister Sorcelai as well. Surely he left some notes in his journal. You have my blessing to read it if you find it. The goddess tolerates much in the search for the truth. I think the diary is in here? Yeah. Maybe the journal Lila's secretary keeps. Looks like he underlined something here for emphasis. Finds Sorcelai N's recent behavior highly irregular and improper. He took a meeting with the Glenbrook officials in secret, wherein he disbursed generous bribes. Bribing Glenbrook officials? It's extremely valuable evidence. I must take note of it. Alright, so there's the... Learned all we can about Sorcelai's bribery. And is that it? It's the message for Exam, which again, we already got. House N's encampment is the rebel, you know, and then whatever, interacting with the soldier to make the to make him go away. The vanishing vessel. I don't think I actually did this one. Talk to the citizen near the entrance. Must be this guy. Yeah, there's a woman living near the minister whose life is consumed with rumors of all sizes and sorts. She always has some fresh morsel or other. It would behoove you to speak with her. A rumor monger, you say? Then I should very much like to speak with her. Yes, thank you. Alright, so that person, and then is it this person? Those who have business with the ministry may enter. If you've no appointment, I must ask you to leave. Nope, it's not that guy. Oh, it's in this house. Wait, Jesus. There we go. Alright, so it's this person. I understand you are aware of the latest rumors that flow through Hyzant. I should like to hear more about them. You wish to hear the popular rumors of Hyzant? You needn't have been so coy. Oh, where to begin? Where to begin? Have you heard the tale of the vanishing vessel? It arrives at the port in secret only to vanish as quickly and quietly as it came. A ship that disappears in the night. The how of their salt exports had eluded me until now. Perhaps they were carrying it on the ship she speaks of. Alright, there's the vanishing vessel information. I mean, obviously I already had it because I used that information in the discussion with Claris here, but the secret ledger, yeah, that's the secret ledger, so that you gotta speak with him to get, or with Claris to get that. The suspicious merchant is the guards at the source, and again, using that second option. Sorcelai's bribery is speaking with Lila, then, you know, getting the journal. Okay, I'm gonna save here because I actually need to. I'm gonna do basically the two different options back to back. I need to do the incorrect way first. That was basically my first playthrough. I want the incorrect route so that I could do that battle. But I need to do it actually again here just so that I can check out what the steals are. So I'm gonna do that. But when I guess here in a second, because I'll do that stuff and then I'll pick this footage back up. But when I do pick it back up, I'm actually gonna go with the correct responses this time. All right, so I just gathered my my steal data from my original route, which was I chose specifically to not answer the questions correctly, and I'll be honest, I'm not really impressed with the steals there. Sorcelai does have a magic defense amulet, which, you know, is a tier 2, I would say, you know, again, magic defense item, which is not that great. So I'm actually pretty happy that I, you know, took that route in my initial playthrough. So anyways, let's move on. We'll end the exploration here, and we'll do the questions in the correct way so that we can, you know, get the better result. So Serenoa says, I've had enough, or I've heard enough, now to return to the encampment and organize my thoughts.
What news? Have you learned anything?
Sorsley is shrewd. He'll not reveal his true colors so easily.
Nothing can remain hidden indefinitely. A thorough review of the testimony shall show us the truth.
Benedict is right. Let us review what we know to be true.
Lord Serenoa, what does the evidence at hand suggest? Let us begin with Sorsley himself. What is his crime?
Okay, let's see here. His crime is that he sold illicit salt. Again, we have to make sure that we get all of these correct.
He sold illicit salt.
Of that there can be no doubt. One of Hyzant's own Saintly Seven is a traitor.
If we cannot secure the help of the remaining saints, we've no choice but to present our case directly to the Hierophant. Doing so will require incontrovertible proof of Sorsley's improprieties.
Alright, so he kept a secret ledger is the second correct answer here.
Claris said Sorsley kept a secret ledger.
Of course. Sales had to be carefully managed so as not to arouse suspicion.
Making detailed records a necessity. I've no doubt this ledger exists. Now then, let us focus on where we might find the evidence we need.
So the last correct answer here is Sorsley's encampment.
By which you mean Sorsley's encampment?
Precisely. Not the one at the Citadel of the Sands, so far from the source. Right here, in the capital.
I know its location.
So, in brief, Sorsley sold illicit salt, constituting a breach of trust with the Hierophant. House End kept close watch over the transactions and labored to keep them hidden.
Meaning there is a second ledger, the incontrovertible evidence we require.
Said ledger would most likely be found at the End encampment, near the source.
Then we shall sneak inside and secure it.
Never forget that we operate on reasoning and supposition. Should our presumptions prove untrue, we will be judged accordingly.
I understand. But the future of House Wolffort is at stake. I will not see us fall to ruin through inaction.
After learning at last where they can find solid evidence to prove Sorsley's involvement in the illicit salt trade, House Wolffort moves to secure it.
Alright, let's take a look at the side story here. At the Citadel of the Sands, so it says a letter arrives for Sorsley, who awaits Serenoa's return.
Damn that Wolffort! He ought to have returned by now. He's more useless than I thought.
Minister Sorsley, a letter's arrived for you, but it is unsigned.
You know better than to bring me messages from anonymous Providence.
My apologies, Minister, but it seems to be some sort of warning.
Oh? Let me see it. Your new pet is nothing but a mongrel stalking his prey. He has put down your most loyal hound and seeks the treasure you've so carefully hidden. Heed this warning before it's too late. My new pet. Wolfort.
What could it mean?
I doubt it is anything but a trick meant to frighten me. Still, it never hurts to be certain. Summon Booker.
Lord Booker has yet to return.
What? My loyal hound. It couldn't be. Make for the capital at once and find out what has happened. I shall be right behind you.
So that actually, I'm not sure who tipped Sorcelet off there and who wrote that letter. I'm actually kind of curious. I wonder if that gets explained here. Alright, so let's do the second side story here. So it says, new information arrives for Camsell, Minister of Domestic Affairs.
So, House Wolfort is making their move.
Yes, Minister. They seek information about the Salt as we speak. Should they not be stopped? After all, they are sticking their noses into our most precious secret.
Leave them be for now. This may be a good opportunity to sift the impurities from the salt, as it were. That said, we must be prepared to act at a moment's notice. See it as so.
Of course, Minister. At last, House End will be brought to justice.
House End is only the beginning. I will not rest until we root out all who dare threaten Hyzant's safety.
Okay, so next up is the main story here in Central Hyzant. It says Serenoa looks for evidence of Sorcelet's clandestine dealings.
Let's review the flow of the salt trade once more, just to be certain. As far as Hyzant is concerned, it begins when the goddess bequeaths her blessing upon the salt. The Hierophant then decides how much is produced. House End oversees said production and is also responsible for sending the salt to the Norzelia Consortium.
And that's the official supply the Consortium regulates.
Yes, production records and Consortium records are readily accessible.
The very existence of illicit salt implies there will be discrepancies between those records. Supposing House End keeps track of those discrepancies in some sort of secret ledger.
Then that would be irrefutable proof that House End is purloining salt. But a hypothetical ledger does us no good.
Then we must steal into his encampment and find it. That is the only way we can prove Minister Sorcelet's transgression.
I agree. However...
You've become quite the radical, Lady Frederica.
I apologize. My suggestion was quite untoward.
Not at all. In fact, it heartens me that you were the one to propose such a course of action.
I'm in favor. We must use any means to get that ledger.
Okay, so that's going to be it for this one. We'll do the next, storyline battle in the next video. So as always, hope the guide was helpful, and thanks for watching.